and welcome to Savvy Gadgets with me, Ian, otherwise known as Ven, and Project Zomboid. Now, I'm currently playing on Build 41 multiplayer, the beta branch, and that brings with us the new foraging mechanic, which I will go through today. But don't forget, like, subscribe to YouTube, and follow us on Twitch. Check out the social media for Savvy Gadgets as Facebook and Twitter, and donate a Patreon if you really like. But today is a bit monumentous because today I'm actually going to finally plumb in some water barrels for collecting rain, and the thing about that is it gives you fresh, clean water. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing that. If you join the chat, don't forget to say hi. Any questions you have, bung them in the chat and I will do my best to answer. We'll be covering some mechanics, we'll be covering cooking as usual. We'll be doing some generalised trapping as much as I possibly can, and perhaps some electrical as well if we can manage it. So that's the basic rundown of what we're doing today. So we're going to kick off with the carpentry and get that out of the way, and then get the foraging done. Now, before I carry on with that, foraging, like I say, has changed, and I released a video on that on Friday, which has been seen by quite a few people. But the mechanic is basically this magnifying glass icon over here and this dialogue. Now, if this dialogue comes up with lots of question marks in it, you're not going to find anything, but you basically enable search, and as you see, the area sort of like shrinks down. You get an icon above your head and it says, hey look, I've found this. Oh, you can scavenge these bits, you can forage these bits. But depending on the area you are in, that depends on what you get. But it is also affected by the weather, darkness, and your moods. So if you're injured, stressed, in the dark, and it's tipping it down with rain, you're not going to find anything, basically. So it really is a case of BD. Best done by daylight. BD. Get it? Right. So what we're going to do is going to disable that, because you can enable this and disable that with the end key. It's always best to have a weapon in your hands as well, because you still have to deal with zombies, because you have to actually walk around with the new mechanic. The old foraging mechanic, a box popped up. You said, oh, I can want to put the items I found in my backpack, and there were specific areas where you could do that. But now you can search for specific items, and now it's hit and miss. And depending on where you are will depend on what you actually get. So we've got enough wood kicking about to finally create some stairs. I'm going to create some stairs just there. Hopefully I should be able to build a platform along there as well. So if I grab some wood. So the point being is I should now be able to actually get on these stairs. There we go. Right. And then what I need to do is I need to build this along so it's above the sink. So I'll actually build this out a bit and see what we can do. Or I can just fall off the wall like that. Jolly good. I'm going to have to do something about that, aren't I? Right, so let's grab some planks. Thankfully I didn't break my leg. Let's grab 4 of them for the time being. Got some of those. That should be enough. I might actually put another set of stairs up there, so I'm less likely to fall off of them, because I just know it's going to be a thing. I just do. Like I say, I might put some fencing up as well, because it's. So we need to build some wooden floor. There we go. Then I'll need the bin bags and the rest of it. It's interesting that it's actually a flat roof. That's pretty good. Needs some more wood. But that actually could be far enough. If I just toggle down this way, I will build it to the end. Just because I'm that sort of pedantic. Let's grab those. Just build it out a little bit more. So I've got room to manoeuvre. So you need to build your barrels and that for in the 8 square area around where it is. So let's go carpentry, build a floor, not a crate because we don't want crates. I'm injured because I'm overloaded. I'm now hungry and thirsty. I think I need another couple of planks up here as well, just to build along here a bit, and then I'll actually be able to build. Let's actually get some water. I've actually got some water in some pots in here, so we're not going to go hungry and thirsty exactly straight away. And I've got some food, so just drink that. Small bird roast. Here's one I prepared earlier, true Blue Peter style. That should cure my hunger and my thirst quite nicely. Get rid of the roasting pan. Roasting pan goes in there. There we go. And food is good. Need a few more planks. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Snag those. And hopefully if I don't fall off of this I won't break my leg with all of the weight. I'm pretty sure that comes into it. Right, so let's build the floor. There it is. So we've got a nice platform here. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to build barrels rather than sort of rain catcher crates as well. Plus all of this is helping towards my carpentry skill, of course. Like I say, another set of stairs down there would probably be a good idea. But so what I need to do is, that's the same length as the house, and if we look at this, the sink is 3 in, so I need to build on the 3rd square along, just above the sink and out a bit, and then I'll put 2 barrels next to it as well, and then we can plumb it in. What I will also need, which don't put on whatever those black squares are there, I don't know, the joys of beta builds and all the rest of it. Got a couple of planks. So you can see I've been busy. I've got 25 bags. I'll grab another plank. I've got more in the back. Oh, I haven't got more in the back. I have to go collect some. There's a log there that I foraged previously. Right, so the barrel I need to create. Carpentry. Rain collector barrel. Oh, I'm short of planks and short of nails. Good grief. Right, okay, so let's drop those where we stand, so we're not hurting ourselves. Get some more nails. Don't run, you idiot. You just fall off. Yep, just dive over that, because, you know, that's a thing, right? Any planks here? Yeah, oh, no, it's a notched wooden plank. That's slightly different. Let's see, nails. Got boxing nails, so we've got some nails there anyway, so let's go with those. Plenty there. Need another plank, at least 4. I'm going to need 5, aren't I? Because I want 5. I'll need another 9, as it happens. Right, so let's just check what we've got lying around. I don't think we've got much. As you can see, I've gained another car. I have been very busy, it has to be said. Saw planks, saw logs, that should give us some. That'll do. It's given us at least 3. So I should be able to make at least one barrel. I might put the buckets up here as well, actually. Right, so let's try this again. Carpentry, furniture, a rain collector. Ah, no, look. I'm short by at least one, so I'm going to have to go with the rain collector barrels. There we go, that's a shame. So, 1, 2, 3. So that's directly behind the sink and above. And do I have enough to do another 2? Another 1? No? Okay, fine, but that should be enough. What have I got left? Plenty of bags, so just need more planks. So I know I can get those. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to grab myself a spear, because one of the things that I have been finding is zombies are a bit more prolific. Right, so actually this gives me a good chance to do the foraging. As you can see, if I hit the end key and now sort of walk around, I've got that area of visibility around me. And you can see this dialogue here, this investigate area dialogue now has question marks in it. That means I'm not going to find anything. So let's go get some planks. Running disables it, fighting doesn't. So like I say, it's always a good idea to have some a weapon in your hands, so you can fight off those pesky zombies. I'm going to have to do this run a couple of times. I thought I had more planks, but as you can see, to build up my carpentry, I've basically dismantled this fence that goes around this entire farmyard. It's like, oh yeah, they're all gone. Right, so let's grab one of those. So I want to get a couple up there. Plank 3, they go in there as well. That way I won't be so overloaded. Grab another one, there we go. That can go in there. So what's that? I've got 5. I'm going to have to come back anyway, so you can grab another 4. So what I'll do is I'll go make one up there and then come back. So let's have a quick look, see whether this is investigatable. No, it's not. They are adding areas. We will go and do some foraging in a minute. But interesting enough, earlier in the week when I was messing around with this, in this particular area, in this character, there is a garage sort of down to the left, and I ended up foraging around that area, and I actually found an empty petrol can. I posted that on Twitter and on Facebook, so check that out. We might actually try and recreate that if we can. But my mechanics has gone up. Right, let's grab a couple of bags. We need 4. 4 bags. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to go on the other side. We'll go just here. Carpentry, furniture, rain collector barrel. There we go. Missing furniture. I'm missing a single plank. Right, yeah. So I just need. I should have picked up that other plank. Actually, that one doesn't look like it's got a lot left in it, so I might have to pick up another one. Must have been used for something. Yeah, for once I've got all of my bone catcher barrels where I want them to be, then I think it only plumbs into one, but I think it's useful to have the other ones available so you can basically swap water over from one to the other if you sort of run out. Of course, I need it to rain as well. That would always be useful, but I can take the buckets that I've got up there and put the buckets of tainted water into those barrels, and I will come out with fresh water. So let's loot all of that. And we need another. I'm just going to grab another 4 because I'm going to be doing this. Loot all of those. I always keep my weapon in my hands. What happened to my crafted spear? Can go there, and then that can actually go in my hands. Equip both hands, provided I'm not running. There we go. I need to stop running because I'm wet. It definitely hasn't rained on me. Moderate exertion. There we go. So if I remember rightly, I've got a wrench just there. That's fantastic. That's exactly the tool that I need. So again, back to foraging. Foraging, when you turn on that area, investigate area dialogue, you get the option to when you don't get the option to select the materials you want to find, but depending on where you are, and this is something that I found out, it's actually really more useful now in sort of like the city areas. When I was testing it out for my video, in the city area you would get like lightly built up and heavily built up areas, just like you get light amount of trees and bushes and heavy forest and that kind of thing. Depends on what you get in each one, but in the inner cities you actually get what I found was fresh dead rats, fresh dead birds, fresh dead squirrels, and that all provides you with meat that you can cook. You can create roasts with that. You can add pepper as a spice, salt as a spice, and it just solves so many of your problems when you're looking for food. So let's carpentry, furniture, rain cut barrel. Right. The hell was that? Right, so now with a wrench in my hands, what you can actually do is you right click there, you get the option to plumb chrome, so you need a pipe wrench to do this, which, fun enough, I do. It might not actually be that one, but I do actually have a wrench. Ah, right, okay, so then it's being more specific, it needs one of those. There we go. Stop complaining now. Haha! So we plumb the chrome sink, and hopefully what that means now is when that rains, that's now connected to at least one of those barrels. Let's drop the wrench, because I don't actually need the wrench. I've been carrying it around with me for no particular reason. Let's put crafted spear in my backpack. And get rid of the pipe wrench. The pipe wrench can go on the floor. Don't need it because now it's a case of job done. Right, so this currently has no water in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a bucket with tainted water in it. Should I grab both of them? They should both go in there. Then I need to start thinking about food and actual water, because right now I suspect it's the middle one. So let's say pour into empty bowl. What is that? garbage bags. Maybe I really do have to rain collector barrel. Right, it's got no water in it. Why can I not put that in the rain collector barrel? And before that puts me in a really bad case of your legs are broken. Okay, put in container garbage bag. No, alright, I'm going to loot all of those. I'm just going to drop these on the floor. Pick all of that up into my bag. I would have thought you'd have been able to do that without too many problems. Pour it into empty pot. I don't want to pour it into an empty one. I want to put it in there. That's a bit rubbish. Oh well, never mind. At least we can take water out of it. Right, so let's put our supplies over here. So we don't really need them at the moment. Could almost create more. Got enough for another rain collector barrel anyway. I'd like to think that when it rains that those would all just come into fruition. Oh, seriously. Putting the planks in the garbage bag. And now in that garbage bag, or that garbage bag. Oh, no, they've actually ended up on the floor. Right, so those nails can join them. I need something to eat and drink, because I've been exerting myself a fair bit, so create a salad from a random vegetable. Then we can add pepper as a spice, that'll increase the nutritional value. Add salt as a spice, again adds the nutritional value, and then we can eat it. And then we can go get something to drink. So next time it rains, and it did rain for quite a long time last time I was here. It rained for days, and I mean days. My ability to forage didn't exist really. It's always good to have some water pots hanging about. That's the other thing is by cooking and creating yourself regular meals, it also helps with your happiness, relieves stress and that kind of thing, which is always good. Right, let's go and find something to eat. Let's go and find some berries. I'll also take some worms with me. Just the two, because I've only got 2 traps. 2 sticky traps. Shut the front door. Shut the front door! There we go. Right, so let's open this foraging dialogue. You see there's saying there's nothing to find with. Okay, so that's now changed to vegetation, materials, food, animals. So this is a common area for medicinal plants rare. Okay, so it actually tells you birds that pop up. Now that didn't happen the other day. That wasn't a thing. So materials, common food. So there we go. So something's cropped up and it's a sticky. I don't particularly need a stick at the minute, so if I discard that, I actually still get experience for it. Speaking of which, I've actually read the book. I have read the book. Okay, great. So I didn't think it'd be a lot of experience, but what the hey. So I'm very tired, so that's going to affect what I can find. Carrots, right, okay, now this is another interesting one. I'm actually going to pick up the carrots because it actually picks up carrot seeds as well, which is great. Because I now got seeds, I can now start thinking about creating gardening plots and things like that. Plus, I can eat the carrots and cook the carrots. Oh, this is going a lot better. Medicinal herbs, lemongrass. Now, even though I'm tired, I'm actually doing really well. And it is actually getting sort of duskish, late-ish. So, now the other thing is the better your skill, the wider that circle, that focus circle becomes. Now, it does actually say to aim as well in the bump, but I don't think that's actually made a blind bit of difference. Now, oh hello, there we go, something else. What we found? We found worms. Okay, we'll pick up the worms. Put them in the backpack. There we go. You find grasshoppers, cockroaches, again, food and animals, right, sticky traps. Don't think let's add any baits, let's add some worms, again, trapping to increase your ability to find, for food. And we have found twigs, don't care for twigs. That's a low amount of it's a 12 multiplier as well, so it's like, wow. Right, let's see if we can find some dense forest. As you can see, I've been here for earlier. Here's some I prepared earlier. I'm really being Blue Peter today. For those of you who don't know, Blue Peter's a TV programme that's been around for years and years and years. Right, so we're now in a densely populated forest. We're in a forest. The material's abundant, food is common, animals are rare, medicinal plants rare, other extremely rare. Maybe I was lucky to find that petrol can. I didn't consider myself lucky at the time. It is getting late. I haven't found any berries, I haven't found any mushrooms. It's the fact that the materials are abundant that bothers me. Let's do some food. Create a salad from random vegetables. It's a mushroom salad, so let's add salt as a spice. Where's my pepper gone? My pepper's vanished. Maybe it's run out finally. Ooh. Mushrooms! Pick up the mushrooms. We definitely do not discard mushrooms. 3 wild mushrooms. Are they poisonous? They are poisonous! Wonderful! It's just what you want. You've discovered some poisonous mushrooms. Yay! Try this field. Alright, so we've now hit an area where there's nothing here. We're now into vegetation. We've got forest. Those are the 2 that I've seen. Oh, what was that? What was that? I saw that pop up. I know you're here somewhere. Now I heard that dog. There's definitely something there, but it is getting dark, so maybe that's affected it. It's like... Still need to keep an eye out for zombies, because once it gets dark, seeing the zombies in the dark when this focus mode is on is next to impossible. Rocks, don't need rocks, discard the rock. So as you can see, the dark slowly coming in. It's becoming, the visibility is becoming less and less and less. Cockroach. So cockroaches, grasshoppers, crickets, all those sort of things, they're really useful for don't need twigs. And my foraging has just gone up a level. Fantastic. Don't need twigs. It's because I'm in densely populated. They're more likely to find twigs and things. Broccoli. There you go. And you get broccoli seeds. Fantastic. At least they're not poisonous. See, that's something new. Other types of veg are cropping up as foods as well, which is interesting. So I can't pronounce it. It's a diacatan, something like that. It sounds like a root vegetable. Right, so let's head back. More sticks, don't need sticks, but that's basically the essence of it. Oh, there we go. Grasshopper. Do some fishing. Right, so we'll demonstrate fishing as well. Right, so it's interesting that you get certain little areas of, little pockets of, you can't find anything here that close to water. It would have been interesting if you could scavenge or forage in areas where there is water. I'm kind of hoping it's going to rain, so I can just drink straight out of the tap. It's getting kind of late. It's 5:30 in the evening. I've actually covered quite a wide area. Normally, I would expect to find quite a few Z's, and it doesn't seem to matter how far away you are from home. It's like my house is just there. Yeah, there we are. I found a cricket. So distance doesn't seem to be a thing as long as you're in an area that says, hey, you can find stuff. It seems perfectly happy with that. I'm just surprised I haven't found, like in the town, I found dead rats, dead birds and dead squirrels. And they all provided me with meat that I could then cook, and that was great. It was like, really? Because foraging really wasn't that useful. See, look, there we go. Chipstone. Don't want chipstone, but there's my house. I'm right next to my house. Well, let's turn that off. Definitely think I need to build another set of stairs. Okay, so let's eat and drink. There's my seeds, loads of seeds. So I've started storage here. I've got seeds there. Go. I'm gonna put a crate here. This is gonna have all of my fishing equipment in it. Right, so this is the drink of choice today. It's Tesco's Blue Spark. I am neither endorsed nor sponsored by Tesco's in any way whatsoever. But I sponsor them because I buy their products. Lovely. Right, so let's get rid of these poisonous mushrooms. Alright, so one of the early things that you can build is one of these. It's a compost heap. And once you put in stuff like poisonous berries, poisonous things, old food, because that's another fried chicken. That was another thing I managed to scavenge. Once you do that, it actually produces worms. They actually turn up in there, and you can then use them for fishing, which is great. Right, let's do ourselves a salad. Create a salad, vegetables, add salt as a spice, and eat. That should work wonders for our hunger. Then drink with a pot of water. Clink. Right, so let's set up the mouse traps. For that we need some chocolate. Chocolate. I've got some somewhere. Ah, maybe it's in there. Chocolate, there we go, grab a chocolate. Let's get rid of that dialogue. Let's add some bait, add chocolate as bait. Add chocolate as bait, and then let's go get some rest. Still a bit hungry, but that's fine. Sort that out in the morning. Sleep. Now, to be fair, if I had a two-storey building, that whole process of building rain catcher barrels above the sink would have been a hell of a lot easier. Because you just basically smash open a window, remove the glass, and then you can build just outside the window a platform, and then you can build along to where you need it to be. I am kind of hoping that those 3 rain catcher barrels will all work with the sink. I don't know. At least one of them will. Maybe I can just plumb them in as I need it to. This one's empty. Let's plumb it into the other one. Empty bowl. Create a salads. Random vegetables. Mushroom salad. Right, so let's take a look at this from a nutrition perspective. Thirst -1. Unhappiness -5. If I add salt as a spice, that's now boredom and unhappiness. So adding the spice relieves boredom and increases the amount that you become less unhappy with. This helps fight depression, helps fight boredom, and just overall keeps you in a better mood so that you can forage for more. Now, weather affects foraging, so the fog's generally not going to help today. So let's try going fishing. Let's see if we can catch some fish. Let's go there. Let's put some of these bits and pieces that I don't generally need in my backpack. Looks like we're still hungry. Let's create a fruit salad from random fruits. Go eat, that'll help with the thirst. You can't, with berries, add a spice, which is a bit of a shame, I think. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a way of creating twine, if that makes any sense. You can only find twine, and once you run out of twine, I think you're stuffed for fishing other than doing spear fishing. Right, so the welder's bar, so that can go in there as well. I don't need that. Right, so let's pick up the lures in which case is the grasshopper, the cricket, the cockroaches, and the worms. We'll pick up the sturdy stick and the twines as well, because these we're going to need these to rebuild the fishing rod because it keeps breaking. So let's go fish. Now I'm kind of expecting them to change the fishing mechanic at some point. You know, just because they can. I think I'm pretty zombie free at the minute. So what you do, right click on there, go fishing. Now, because I've got a spear and a fishing rod, I've got the choice of using one or the other. I'm going to put everything in my hiking bag. I'm just going to fish and I'm just going to use these. So my fishing skill isn't great. It's getting there. But it isn't something that I could rely on at the moment. I think it's a case of if you're building up your trapping skill, your foraging and your fishing skill. Aha! He says immediately catching something. That's fantastic. Again, you can create roasts with these. You can fillet them and create roasts with the fillets, or you can just cook them first, then fillet them. That then splits them out into other meals, which is great. That's a decent fish. Let's get that down there. Cook to remove unhappiness, malice. I like the way they kind of refer to these as those malice and moodles. Those are the little icons that pop up on the right hand side that say that you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're unhappy, you're bored, you're injured, you're overloaded, that kind of thing. Alright, okay, we've got another fish. I was going to say we just caught some wild broccoli, but that's not the case. Doing rather well, actually. I caught some socks. The obligatory socks have been caught. Because one of the things you get from this is socks and shoes. I haven't found anything else. Hey, Super Tone Man. Hello, chap. Have you seen the joys of foraging in Build 41 multiplayer beta? Have you had a good week as well, chap? Let's see. We're catching quite a nice amount of fish at the minute. Oh, gunshot. Hungry and thirsty. Not catching anything more. I immediately caught a few fish and now I'm catching more. Ah, caught a big trout, that's good. Yep, that's the one. Thank you for watching that. It is quite good. It's far more useful in rural areas, in the towns. I posted the video, and after I posted it, I carried on playing for a little while, looking around. I actually found dead mice, dead rats, birds, and squirrels in towns, in and around houses, and that was I just thought that was great because previously foraging had no real use in a town at all, and all of those provide you with, meat for food. So let's actually just create ourselves something to eat here. Get the old bowl out. Let's create a salad. This foraging is also so I also managed to. I'll actually try and take a look at this in a minute. Just to see, I'm out of things that I can create food. That's bad. I've got broccoli and plenty of fish to cook, so I'm not desperate. Let's have a drink. Because actually what I was down by the petrol station. Now there's a petrol station down here on the right. I don't know whether that counts as rural or not. I think actually, because I was just turning the focus ability on and off. So it is actually, if we dive down this direction, there it is. Right, so let's turn it on. Let's see what we get in terms of this. Right, so according to this is a vegetation area, and it was in this area that I actually found a petrol can, which I kind of thought was marvellous. So there we go. There's something. There's something. It's a propane torch. Cool. I mean, you want those, really. Just double click it to pick it up. So there's a propane torch. Oh, what else have we found in around this area? Oh, I've actually found some berries. Let's grab the berries. It actually says that materials, food are common. Others are rare. Medicinal plants are rare. I haven't found a good place for medicinal plants yet. And by the meaning of get the hang of multiplayer, you mean not get each other killed. What's this? This is grape leaves. Okay, fine. Grape leaves. Do I get anything for grape leaves? Can you build grapevines? Oh, those berries were poisonous. Oh, you can eat the grape leaves though, so we'll eat those. Stave off some of my hunger. Put the propane torch. I can't put the propane torch. Let's put it in the fanny pack. There we go. Yeah, what else have we found? Ah, mushrooms. Let's see if they're poisonous. No, they're okay. They're good. We're all good with them. But you know, it's the case of you having to walk around. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, no, I've actually got the multiplayer beta on, and I'm happy enough that that's working with my saves and all the rest of it. Although I've found some glitches in it. There's some areas that I actually have. I came across as part of the Ravens Creek map, where you kind of had a marked out area where a building should have been or previously was, and it's not there anymore, but it still provides you with shelter even though there's nothing there. I found one of those over in Riverside. So yeah, foraging's a lot more difficult now. Interesting that I found a propane torch though. Because of course if you're wandering around you're more likely to bump into zombies, aren't you? You think? But I guess it's a more realistic mechanic, if you see what I mean. Because you don't sit, because like the previous one is like you just sat there and the dialogue did it all for you, whereas now you've got to wander around and face the dangers of everything. Like, here comes one, and that's the wrong thing to be holding in my hands. And that is a grasshopper. Fantastic. Oh, it's a cricket. A cricket, grasshopper, there's the same things. Yes. Well, to be fair, it is up until now, it's been the best mechanic, way of feeding your character. And like I say, it seems a lot more useful in town areas now, because before I never really used it in town, because when you were in town, there were no forageable areas. And now that when you're in a town, you can actually find things. And that does make it a lot more viable, as a lot more useful all round. It's not just a case of you can forage the sort of rural areas. You can now forage or scavenge in towns as well. Oh look, more broccoli. Fantastic. There we go. worms. This is all good. I am hungry and thirsty though. Now I could cook and eat the crickets, couldn't I? So let's go with the empty bowl. Let's create a salad from vegetables. A mushroom salad. Let's eat the mushroom salad. Salads do better than fruits. Berries poisonous, not random fruits. We don't want random fruits. Broccoli in the wild, yeah. Wild broccoli. Take your eyes out if you're not careful. But yeah. It's like what it says, materials are abundant. What you want is food is abundant. So it swaps from forest to vegetation areas and different bits and pieces. So that's good. Sticky, don't need sticky. Discard the sticky. But on my character, admittedly he's on easy mode. The circle of focus is a lot better. Yeah, broccoli and cheese. I do find carrots and found bang. I found it's like it's called diakatan or something like that. It's kind of like a root vegetable. I've also found carrots. I've found cabbages as well. So you get quite a variety of things to forage, which you didn't used to find. So I mean, on one hand, I'm not particularly keen on walking around like this because it requires a lot more involvement from the player, whereas before it didn't, and that was useful to a larger degree. You could just sit back and relax. But no, you now actually have to sort of like wander around and find your own food, and it's like, oh. And like I say, I think it's as much as I hate that part of it, it's much more realistic. Or it adds more realism in the fact that you've got to wander around to find food rather than just scavenge a particular area. I think if you can right click some areas, what have we got here? Stones, not any stones. You can still, the forage options now, it says, no, it's been changed. Use that instead. I wish you had the ability to use both, or you could swap it out. Ah, grasshopper. Right, so I'm assuming you didn't catch the start of the stream, Super Tone Man, because I've actually built some stairs, and I've made my rain catcher barrels above my sink and plumbed it in. Now, previously you could do that with a wrench, but it actually specifically says you need to use a pipe wrench now, and lucky enough I'd already scavenged one of them from somewhere on my many travels. But anyway, I was saying this area of focus on my character that's on the sandbox one. The circle of focus is a lot bigger. Mushrooms, there we go. 2 mushrooms wild, probably more poisonous, but I've got some food. The thing is you still can rely on foraging to keep you alive. You can forage enough to keep you going, but it's not like the abundance that was previously used to. So you are going to have to supplement it with, trapping and fishing and that kind of thing, I think. Right, so let's have a drink. So drink that. Okay, so we're not hungry. Why have I got some crap in my bag? Oh, that's because I've got all the fish in my bag. Right, so let's do some cooking. So cooking in its most basic form is if you're foraging or anything. It's just a case of you can open some cans, like tuna, they open without the need of a can opener or other cans. You can just put them in a pot or you can just eat them as they are. But if you're foraging and doing that kind of thing, it's always useful, and I've been doing this as we've been playing, is to have an empty bowl, and then you can just go right click, create a salad from the mushrooms, or you can create fruit salad with berries and that kind of thing. So you can add spices in the form of salt and pepper. That includes the nutritional value, and it takes away boredom and unhappiness, helps fight depression and helps fight boredom. So let's go with, no, I haven't got any poisonous stuff. Let's go with random vegetables. So we'll create a couple of those. We'll get a mushroom salad. I can add salt as a spice because I've got some. And that now, can eat that and that'll help fight off my hunger. Right, let's get rid of my fishing gear and let's create a roast. So fishing, grasshopper, worms, twine, sturdy stick, cricket. They can go on the floor with the magazines. Right, okay, great. And then using a roast pan. So fishing, if we right click and we can slice and fillet all 6 of the fish that we found. Not including the socks that we caught. So we should have a few fillets. Get rid of that search dialogue. Yeah, look at that. Loads of fillets. Right, so let's roast pan, create roast from random fish. And create the other one, create roast from random fish. Right, so we've now got 2 fillets. We can now add random vegetables. Do the same, roast, add random vegetables, which would be a mushroom. So we've got 2 mushrooms, and then we can, of course, we can add salt as a spice. We can add butter to it and other things. So that one obviously did. Roast, add salt as a spice. And depending on what the fish it's made from. Let's put the fillets in there. Put mushrooms in the backpack. So broccoli, I'm going to put that in there as well. Get rid of the broccoli seeds, because you can just eat broccoli raw. And been trying to burn these shoes away without success. So can I add them as fuel? No, I can't. But I can light them with the socks that I found on a lighter. Now these will take a while to cook. Meanwhile, unabashed, I have some scrap wood here from the fence that I dismantled. So add fuel, scrap wood, all 4. It's increasing the light size of the fire. We can have a look at the inspect the fire, campfire info. It's got 8 hours of fuel. Well, the thing is if I'm able to find lots of tree branches whilst foraging, I can use those and put those on the fire. They work as a fuel. And interesting enough, if you go to forest areas, you will find logs. Even at the level of my foraging as it is, I was down at level 6, I was finding logs in the forest areas rather than the vegetation areas. So yeah. So foraging hasn't lost its usefulness. It's become more useful, but in a different way. It's just less likely to feed you, if you see what I mean, from the get go. Whereas before, from the get go, it was like a sole way of being able to keep you alive and fooded and fed. So it's like that's going to be interesting, especially if you're the sort of person who just likes to stay sort of in a city, whereas I like to come out and be more rural like this. But you can still find twigs, you can still find branches, and you can still find meat now with foraging. So you know, it's all good, isn't it? Alright, so as you can see, my stairway to heaven. Up the side of my building, I've got 3 raincatcher barrels. It hasn't rained yet. For some reason, I can't put these buckets into. I can't pour them into the raincatcher barrels for some reason, and they don't seem to be an option down the right hand side, which is a bit of a sod. I thought that they would be able to do that. I thought you'd be able to take water and just put them in. It's like, doesn't seem to be a thing. It's like you can't click on the raincatcher barrel and say, "Hey, pour this in there." It's like you can't decant it, so I need it to rain, unfortunately. I'm going to pick these buckets up because they are well in the way now. Put them over here with my collection of garbage sacks. Alright, but now I can actually. Let's see which one of those was the least nutrition. There we go, we'll eat that one. So things are going well. I'm just waiting for the rain to turn up so I can actually start getting water out of my tap again. So I've actually been busy. I've been disassembling in the other towns. I've been building on my mechanics and my metalwork and my electronics. As soon as I get my electrical up to level 2, I should be able to hotwire cars. Or maybe it's a case of mechanics. But so let's have a quick look at mechanics while we can. So the very basics of mechanics. You need a screwdriver. So let's get my screwdriver into the right inventory, and with that what you can basically do is we check out the vehicle mechanics. Now I've been using this as my sort of dummy testing, because you can see it's absolutely knackered, but at the very minimum to start off with, you can remove the radio, you can remove the battery, and you can remove the lights, and for this you need the screwdriver. Yeah, I suppose so. That's what you're thinking. And you can uninstall the headlights and the tail lights, and they will all give you something back. And you don't need to have a supply of cars, you just need to have cars around. You don't need access to the inner parts of the car, so any car laying about will do the job. Oh, missed one. What have we got left? That one. Okay. The problem is this doesn't yield a great deal of experience, low level, so it's going to take a while of doing that on the different vehicles that I've got, because if you keep doing it on the same vehicle, you stop gaining experience from it. But once you sort of get up to the next level, level 3, your world becomes a lot more open to you, because you can then start taking things like not perhaps the doors, but where are they? There's metalwork options there. The seating. Where's the seating gone? Driver's seat. There we go. You can install the driver's seat. That's mechanics level 2, which I don't currently have. So you can start adding them into the mix. And that's a high level. Tyres. What do they need? Uninstall. They need jack and a lug wrench. Right, so I could actually be doing the tyres as well. Take the tyres on and off now on level 1. I need a lug wrench and a jack for that, which funnily enough I have in the back of the car. So one of those. So I'll be doing that in the morning, just to help boost up my mechanic skills. First I need a drink. Put that in the backpack because it's taken up. And the roasting pan, that goes in there, that's the empty roasting pan. Shoes we'll put in the cupboard down here. So I've been trying to burn them. And that's 10 or 40. Get some sleep. So what we'll do is we'll take the tyres off of the car with the lug wrench and the jack. It's raining. It's finally raining. It's only taken days. But now I can use my tap. I can now drink out of my tap, and it tells me how much water I've got. I've got 44 of 160. So it's only connected to one barrel. But there you go. I now have fresh drinking water. That's fantastic. Let's eat my roast. Eat that. Because I'm actually quite peckish, so to say. But at least if I was, I was kind of disappointed that you can't do that. You can't decant from one barrel to another or put buckets of water in it. I think that's a bit of an oversight. But I now have the ability to wash, so I can wash myself. Pretty sure I had some soap. There we go. So you can hear it. You can actually hear it raining. Gently on the roof. Let's grab some soap, because that just speeds things up. Allegedly. Oh look, I haven't seen one that grim before. Full to bursting! Couldn't manage another single solitary bite. I better create some more roasts anyway. That doesn't last very long. We can wash all of the clothing. Why can't you do that? Why can't I say all clothing now? Why do I have to wash them one by one? Hello, Slay J. Welcome to Savvy Gadgetz. Thanks for getting on the chat. Any questions? Ask away. Just washing everything. Because now that I've actually sorted out I've run out of soap. No, I haven't. Why can't I wash the things? That's now I've sorted out my fresh water supply. Thanks to the rain. Now I've got my rain catcher barrels up here, which are supplying me with water to my sink. So I'm going to grab the jack, I'm going to do some maintenance on the cars. Again, I'm going to use this one for demonstration purposes because, as you can see, I've got quite a collection. Been busy. So what we're going to do is actually going to remove the tyres on this one. Now I have the right sort of skill level, I'm less likely to damage them. So if we go for the tyre there, I mean they're all absolutely worn out. These tyres, this car is dead. I'm hoping to basically use it for parts. Value tyre 2%. So you take them off, put them back on again, and then hopefully that gives you a decent experience. Right, okay, so I have 3 mods on. I have book collection, which basically puts all of the books into beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert and master, so you know what book to read in what order for when your levels go up. And then I also have the bushcraft weapons, and I also have the katana, which doesn't actually seem to work because I haven't seen one yet. So let's try on the other tyres. I do actually have a tyre pump, so maybe deflating and inflating the tyres gives you some experience. Let's give that a go, actually. So uninstall, right, so let's install that tyre. Value tyre, 7%. I'm on 18.75, I will probably get about 1 for doing this. Oh, okay, so it actually gave us about 1.5 in experience overall, even though I do have a multiplier of 3. It's not a lot. Right, so let's get this. But that's how you improve your mechanics. It's a very slow kind of process. Tailoring, I haven't really had the opportunity to do a lot of tailoring, but you can get thread if you need from tailoring by just ripping clothes into the sheets. Yes, it's quite impressive, isn't it? I mean, out of all of these cars, that pink one works with the trailer, the taxi works, this brown one works, and perhaps one or two of the pickups in this van. So it's not too bad, but overall the majority of them are in such bad condition, it's just unreal. So that's the starting mechanics. You just need a screwdriver, lug wrench and a jack. So for tyres, I actually did have somewhere, couldn't tell you where, I might have to forage a bit, a pump. Let's say I've got a jack and a lug wrench there as well. So it's one of those things that I just pick up out of just for the sake of it. Also picked up a ton of food, a ton of chocolate as well, because I think I need it for the mouse traps. Electronics one. Oh, I haven't read that one. There you go. Something else I need to do. I need to build a what's the word I'm looking for? another bookshelf. That's it. Yeah, sure, of course I can. So it's the same for all cars basically. So you get like the dialogue opens up, it tells you what you've got on the car, engine, muffler, that kind of thing. So it's in a lot better condition overall. The engine's still not doing too well, but there's more green than there is red, and overall it's a 60% condition. But it's pretty much the same. So with starting mechanics, you just need a screwdriver just to remove the lights. So you can remove all of the lights, you can remove the radio and the battery, and then you can reinstall all of them, and then that will give you the experience. And that's what I've had to do to get the single solitary point in mechanics that I've got at the minute. Now, of course, I've found the books, and you'll see that one of the things that I've always done is absolutely throwing it down out there. Is you can see that I've got like all 5 volumes of it, all of the books, so that I can actually do, read up and get the experience bonuses, which are what these arrows represent here down the side. So it actually gives me a multiplier on the experience that I'm getting. And so I've actually got Mechanics Volume 1 to 5, and as you can see, this is where the book collection comes into it, because it says Volume 1 for Dummies, Intermediate, Advanced, Expert, Master, so I know what volumes I need to read. And each one of these represents 2 bars on your skill level. So Dummies is 1 and 2, Intermediate is 3 and 4, Advanced is 5 and 6. Do a drift. I don't think you can drift in the cars that I've noticed. I'm not that experienced with them other than crashing them, to be fair. So I don't think you can. But hey, we aim to please. This is going to be interesting in the fog. I shall do my best to try and screech it one. I can't actually see anything. Yep, I can see nothing. I'm doing my best. I am doing my best. Given the weather conditions, it's a bit of an unfair challenge. If we reverse handbrake turn it, Can't even do donuts in it, for goodness sakes. Can't see the road. Now you can in a really bad accident overturn the cars. That much I do know. I've seen it happen in videos, so that is actually a thing. Well, I did my best. I hold my hand up to that one. I can't really do that. He's absolutely throwing it down. I'm going indoors. Check my traps. No, nothing in the traps. I can actually drink from a tap. I can fill water bottles. See, look, water bottles. Let's fill the water bottles while we've got the chance. There we go. But it's a case of it's not tainted or anything like that. It's come straight from the stick traps. Yes, I did fill them with worms, which is by far the best way to trap get my spear out because not only are we facing this, you see, with the new foraging mechanic, it's absolutely tipping it down, and even though it's daylight, it's going to turn it on, not run. See if we can actually find something. Oh, we have, look! We found some sticks. Useless, but I haven't tried multiplayer at the minute. I am actually on the multiplayer branch. And I've been meaning to give it a go, but life's just kind of got in the way for me at the minute. See if we can actually find some food like this. Oh, there's one of my stick traps. Oh, it doesn't say anything, it doesn't look like it's got anything in it either. Oh, that's absolutely chucking it down. Found some stones. Found these stones. Oh, what was that? Found some mushrooms. They're poisonous, but I found some. I might have to come back with more bait for those traps. As you can see, there is very little that I can actually see that's around other than in this little circle of sort of focus, if you see what I mean. So if there are any zombies beyond that, I don't know, can't see. It does sound really good though, that sounds like some really harsh weather. Twigs! The joy of twigs. I don't want the joy of twigs. I want the joy of food. Give me some food. More twigs. Well, actually, that's a branch that I can use for stuff. I don't know. It's easy to get those things. I don't think we're going to stand much chance of creating a fire. God, that's really throwing it down. Thunderbolts and lightning. Very, very frightening. That's really fond of doing that to me. Every now and again it just pop up with something I don't want. Twigs. Right, let's get some food going. So the other thing is it will find stuff on the floor that you just left there. Ah, mushrooms, literally just outside my door. Let's put those poisonous ones away. See, it's like, got it on its focus, it's like, what have you found? You found all of the magazines I've dropped. A bit pointless, to be honest. So, let's drink. Might as well. You're looking at it. Project Zomboid, in my opinion, and it's not just my opinion, is that it's one of the best zombie games that you can play, especially if you're looking for more of a survival sort of style of game, in which case Project Zomboid is practically second to none. Other games that I've enjoyed playing, because I do play a lot of zombie survivals, State of Decay. I really enjoyed playing State of Decay. So that, you know, that was a nice open world sort of like adventure game. I'm really enjoying playing Days Gone at the moment, and I am streaming that a bit. From a multiplayer perspective, I'm also playing DayZ with my mates from Fragland on a Thursday night. So they have their own server set up. So if you check out Savvy Gadgetz on Facebook and Twitter, I posted a picture of the base that we built this week, and unfortunately it happens to look like the Teen Titans fortress. It's a nice T shape. My mate had the idea of putting a helicopter landing pad on the top and then extending it out to do that, because otherwise it wasn't big enough. And it ended up looking like a T shape, and it's like, oh, for God's sakes. So let's add pepper spice. There we go. So I shouldn't be hungry so much. Roasting pan. I've got the fillets in here from my fishing earlier. From random fish. There we go. And we'll do the same. Create a roast from random fish. Yeah, now I've played a lot of zombie survivals. I mean, one of the ones that I enjoyed playing it, don't get me wrong, I actually enjoyed playing through the game, was Dying Light, and the next one looks quite nice. The only problem, I did do a video on this a while back, and it really annoyed me, is when you get to, that you've got like the chief protagonist, the guy that you, I think his name was Rias, something like that. Whenever you got to fight him, it always boiled down to quick time events, and the very last fight against him is a quick time event, and that really annoyed me, because you spend so much time in the game building up experience, being able to craft different bits and pieces, learning different skills, and fighting, zombies with different fighting techniques, this, that, and the other. And then you come to the end, and it's a quick time event. Are you kidding me? Really, really, really annoyed me, something chronic, and so enough to sort of like do a video on it. So it upset me that much, But other than that, Dying Light was a decent game. It was. I kind of like the concept about it, because more kind of sort of like a parkour style game, and I always quite liked Mirror's Edge. If you've ever played that, I like both of those. They were quite fun. So yeah, but Project Zomboid, I have played more Project Zomboid than I have of any of the others, in all fairness. And although I live stream it on Sundays, I do actually play it during the week as well. I actually started doing an apocalypse one the other night, and I didn't last more than 30 seconds. It's like, combat really should be avoided. Sort of like, you start off without any weapons at all, and it's like, okay, that sucks. Anyway, the nice thing about Project Zomboid, even though they've got a small team of developers, they have actually, over the years, I mean, the game was released in 2013, they've added like the whole seasons, weather, cars were added in a few years ago as well, and the whole idea of mechanics. I remember that being brought into it. I think that was 2017-ish. Do you have a game that really pissed you off, and why? Well, Dying Light, obviously, I've just been talking about that. That's one of the games that really annoyed me. I can't think of any other game that has really annoyed me enough to think that's really upset me in any way. Dying Light has to be the one that's really got my goat. I mean, I don't really go in for racing games so much, though I have played some. I used to, back in the day, 20 odd years ago, before the internet was really a thing, or perhaps going even back 25 years, before the internet was really a thing, in order to play games multiplayer, people used to throw up LAN parties, and Fragland, emphasis on the LAN part of it, was where I met all my Fragland mates. We used to hire out halls and descend on the hall for an entire weekend, play games for the weekend, and we used to do things like Quake, and we used to play RTS games like Command and Conquer, and all those sort of games. But that's the sort of thing we do on a Thursday night now. It's just like, instead of having to take all of our equipment to a hall and hire out a hall, you know, we just do it over the internet. I think the only other thing that's worth talking about in that respect is just let me create some food here because I'm beginning to starve. I don't want my character to die. I don't know, I mean, games frustrate me, especially RTS games frustrate me a fair amount, mostly because I don't have time to get the inner workings of it, and so as things sort of progressed, the Command and Conquer series is like there was always a way in. Total Annihilation was by far my favourite RTS, because I could actually build a base that was impenetrable in that, and that really annoyed everybody else. It's like they had to kill me off quick, otherwise it was a case of they just wouldn't be able to. There'd be so many defences just sitting there that even with tons and tons and tons of the biggest mechs that they could build, they just wouldn't get into my base at all. But yeah, it's a really good question. Difficult to answer, but no, I don't have any VR equipment. It's one of those. At some point, I'm aiming to get a VR. I'm actually hoping, I think, to get an Oculus 2 because of the side loading ability. A few of my mates have got VR headsets and they really enjoy it, but I haven't had the opportunity. Now, interestingly enough, 30 odd years ago, I went to what was a place in London called the Trocadero Centre, and they had sort of like VR there, and they had a game called Pterodactyl Hunt, and at the time it was state of the art stuff, and it was terrible, even back then, you know. So, but then you look at things like VR stuff like Half-Life Alyx, which was released last year. And that's really good. That's really come on, and that's why I've never really bothered with sort of VR stuff up and I had an interest in it, because now you've also got the Boneworks stuff as well, and VR has come on so much since then that it's really good. But no, I've not played VR chat at all because I don't have the equipment, to be honest. But it's a plan of action. At some point, I will be doing something VR-ish. But yeah, cool. But yeah, so I have to go with Dying Light and QuickTime events. Games with QuickTime events annoy me, generally, I think. So where are we in PZ? Got some things that I can cook. Whether I actually able to cook them in the rain or not is entirely different. So today I've sorted out my supply of water, my ability to drink or get clean water without actually relying on boiling water from pots and pans. Oh, that's a point. I can actually fill those up, can't I? Yeah. Can fill cooking pot. There we go. If you get the Oculus 2, you'll have to need to log into Facebook with it. I've no idea. Before I actually buy anything like that, I'll talk to my mates who've got them and make sure I'm actually buying something that's decent. Because I don't want to, because they're not cheap. You know, headsets are a couple of £100 each. At the bare minimum, I think. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest, not since last year. But having the ability to play games without having it attached to your PC is something that's really quite useful. That's the whole side-loading stuff. And I think it's only the Oculus 2 does that. But if the Oculus 2 does it, and other people are like it, then I can expect other people to follow, I would expect. And I'm just having a food problem. Let's see if we can actually. Let's experiment. Let's pick up some twigs. Let's see if we can light a fire in the rain. Let's see, light the fire with twigs and a lighter. It's lit. Whether it stays lit or not is another entirely. Well, that doesn't have a lot of nutrition in it. I mean, to be fair, I've got Facebook accounts. I mean, I've got my own account, so I can log into it with that. Or it's the one that I use for the Gadgetz Facebook and Twitter. On Twitter, I'm known as, I don't know whether you're on YouTube, so on Twitter, I'm on as Ben_UK. The links are in the description below, they should be, for all of my social media stuff. But yeah, so I post pictures on there and things that I've been doing during the week, such as the DayZ stuff, the foraging stuff that I was doing earlier today I found a propane torch, and the other day I found a petrol can. It's like, that was never a thing before, so plus and because I'm actually on holiday at the moment, I'm actually doing live streams on a more daily basis. I'm doing a couple of hours. I'm playing Days Gone at the moment, so usually from sort of like 10, 11ish for a couple of hours. Because still got family things to do. It's actually my birthday later in the month. I'll officially hit 50. So I've been playing games since I was 6 years old. Yeah, there's always a delay. Don't worry about it. Because I will try and respond as when I can. You know, it's a case of, you know, there is a delay. I mean, there's a delay between what you're doing here and what's going out, because it's sort of behind. My setup is a case of it's cooking, that's now burning. Let's grab all of those, put the fire out. Put out fire, there we go. I would expect the rain to have done most of that for me. So, yeah, that was a bold experiment. Just tired rather than bored. Right, okay. Yeah, so the setup I've got is that I'm playing on my computer. I have a second screen over here where I'm seeing the chat and everything. I'm using OBS Studio, which is then connected to Restream, Restream.io, and Restream.io is pushing out to Twitch and to YouTube. I don't have a subscription to Restream.io, which is why I'm only pushing out to Twitch and to YouTube. But I don't know whether I want to push out to anything else, to be honest. I'm not particularly into Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. It might be an idea. Probably something I do at a later date. But yeah, there is a delay. When I started streaming, I actually didn't start live streaming until about a year ago. But up until then, I've been doing videos for 3 years. So I've got quite a back catalogue of videos that I've done. And I still, interestingly enough, I did a review for a Humax 1100S box, and it is by far my most watched video, even though I did it like years and years ago. People still watch it today. It's like got 26,000 views on it. I was looking at it the other day thinking, you've got to be joking me, people still watch that. But they do, and the people still find it useful. People find the update video I did for it about whether there's an app store on it or not useful, and it's like, it's weird what catches people's attention. The idea behind that video was I was moving away from having a Sky subscription because it was getting quite expensive. I think it was like £33 a month, and by buying this box, which was £210, and swapping it out for Sky for a Humax box, after 6 months, the box had paid for itself in Sky subscriptions. and after 6 months I was, saving myself, money by not having a Sky subscription. So, there was always that to it. But yeah, so let's have a look. Let's have a bit of a stock take of what we've done today. So, carpentry. I've increased my carpentry enough so that I can build stairs and put up the gantry on the right hand side of my house and build some rain catcher barrels, which I can then plumb into my sink, which then gives me fresh water to drink. We've covered mechanics. And the basics of mechanics. We're using screwdriver, a jack and a lug wrench, and we can remove the tyres, and we can remove the radio, the battery, and the lights, and that all gives us experience. And now I'm level 1, I can do the tyres. I didn't do the tyre pumps, did I? So I don't know whether that gives you any experience or not. Maybe for next time we'll check that out, because I know I've got a tyre pump somewhere. I've seen it. Covered the new foraging mechanics and how that works, and we've done some fishing, which went rather well, has to be said. And cooking, we've been through cooking and how to keep up your stave off depression with cooking, and using the materials that you forage, the food that you forage, the mushrooms and the berries, to create yourself salad and a fruit salad and that sort of thing. No, that's absolutely fine. I am actually a computer programmer. I'm a web dev. I've been a computer programmer since I was about, when I left college. I was about 20. So I didn't actually go. So brief working history. I used to work for a company when I went straight into work when I left school at 16. I started working for a company that built industrial microwaves. Then a recession hit, I was made redundant. I went back to college. I went and did a BTEC for a couple of years. Then I did an HND for a couple of years. Then after that I started working as a computer programmer for an air conditioning company. Then I moved on to do all sorts of different roles within a second company, all computer programming, all sort of C++ at the time. But then things moved over to C#, had just been brought in, and the whole .NET framework, that kind of stuff. And since then I've worked in CV verification, I've worked with Dynamics GP, and I now work with insurance as a web dev. So that's the sort of thing I do as a job, and all of this is my hobby, basically. This whole live streaming, making videos, what I do for fun. I went to 2 colleges. I lived in Bedfordshire. I went to Mander College, and I went to, at the time, Mander College joined with Dumont University and became a university. Then after that I went to Luton Polytechnic, and Luton Polytechnic, whilst I was there, became the University of Luton. I lived in Bedfordshire pretty much most of my life, but I now actually live out in the Fens. I've been here since 2014 with my family. So, technically not game related, but fine, it's absolutely fine. But that is actually 2 hours of gaming on PZ. So like I said, we rounded it up with so we did some mechanics, did some foraging, did carpentry, sorted out the drinks, my water supply. I haven't done anything with electrical really this week. I was hoping to do that, but we did some fishing. We have done some trapping, but we haven't actually found anything in our traps, which is a bit of a disappointment. I'm kind of wondering what to do with traps when my chocolate runs out, because it doesn't grow on trees and I'm less likely to find it foraging. So yeah, but hope you have a good week, everybody. Thank you for joining us on chat, Supertone Man and Slay J. If you are if you do watch my my channels, on my channel, my live streams, then don't forget to get onto the chat, join in, like and subscribe to YouTube, and follow me on Twitch. During the week when I'm streaming, I will only stream on Twitch. It won't be on YouTube. I don't record them because they're a bit ad hoc. If you sort of mean, this is the only one that I actually live stream to YouTube. But yeah, playing Days Gone, doing some Halo Infinite. Might look at Splitgate because I've been playing some of that as well. Thank you, Super Toeman, and you have a good week yourself. But thanks for watching. Join me next week, 1 o'clock GMT, for more Project Zomboid, and we'll go through some more stuff. Wonderful. So, thank you very much. See you next week. Try and join my Twitch streams. But until then,